Hello and welcome to Setting Up a Proposition for Debate. I'm Dr. Rick Merritt. A proposition is a claim that is set up to provide a balanced debate. The proposition is supported by the government team. More on this shortly. Please notice I did not use the word prove. That is because with topics we discuss, we cannot prove anything. Take, for example, a debate about the role of someone playing violent video games as a child and turning out to be a violent adult in real life. We cannot prove that either side of this debate is the absolute truth. We can only demonstrate that one side has more credible evidence to support it. For our debates, we will argue for or against a proposition. We will use violent video games topic as an example for a proposition. Our proposition is this House believes playing violent video games as a child increases the chances of committing violence as an adult. There are two sides to this debate. We are using the terms from parliamentary debate for the sides. The side that supports the proposition is called the government. The side that opposes the proposition is the opposition. Each side has specific duties. The government must do the following: define the terms, define the type of debate, define the judging criteria, and meet the burden of proof. The opposition has a few responsibilities as well. First, they must accept or bring new definitions. They may define the case if the government failed to do so. Second, they must clash with the government. They cannot ignore the government case and just give reasons why the proposition is not more true than false. They must argue the government points. Finally, they do not have to show the proposition to be more false than true. They simply have to develop a case that calls the government's claims into questions. Let's look at these in detail using our proposition. Our proposition is, this House believes playing violent video games as a child increases the chances of committing violence as an adult. Let's start with defining the terms. This House will be the advocacy of the room. This means whatever the judges decide will be the final result. A child is an individual under the age of 18, and an adult is over 18. Violence is any act of physical or emotional violence that can result in an arrest and conviction in a court of law. The type of debate will be a fact debate. This is because the wording indicates we want to determine if playing violent video games lead to violent adults or not. We are not saying it's good or bad. That would be a value. We are not saying something should be done about this issue. That would be a policy. More on these two types of debates when we discuss parliamentary debate. The judging criteria will be more true than false, based on best evidence. While we are looking at facts, we want the judges to make their determination on who had the most credible evidence that led to supporting their side of the debate. Remember, the burden of proof falls to the government team. They must show the proposition to be more true than false. Now to the opposition responsibilities. The opposition must accept or redefine the terms of the debate. They must accept or alter the type of debate and judging criteria. The opposition must argue against the case and bring up information that supports their point of view. They must clash with the government and not just bring up their own case. Forgetting this burden can result in a loss in the debate. Here's a brief example. The first government speaker outlines a case, and the opposition follows this outline. We'll practice this process in class. After defining the terms, the government speaker begins the case. Some things to remember. Cite your point and support it. If your point is, psychologists agree that violence in childhood can lead to violence as an adult, provide evidence, such as this example from George Drinka, a psychologist for children and adolescents, and author of the book, When Media is the Parent. In his 2015 article, he said, "It is probable that mass murderers engaging in isolated and prolonged play have used violent video games to train themselves to kill. Experts note that playing them improves eye-hand coordination for efficiently aiming and firing a gun. More importantly, numerous studies suggest that these games desensitize players to the pain of others." The opposition would clash with this point as follows. Mention the government argument so the judges know you are clashing with the point. The government claims that children are playing violent video games become violent adults. However, there is contrary evidence. According to a 2015 article from Eric Kane, who covers politics at the League of Ordinary Gentlemen, a politics and culture blog, and writes about technology and video games for Forbes. Following recent mass shootings, condemnations and questions about violent video games and gun violence have reemerged. However, the truth does not match the rhetoric and moral panic. Research on causal and correlational links between game playing and aggression is inconsistent. Furthermore, America's consumption of violent video games is comparable to other industrialized nations with significantly fewer gun deaths. Now some final tips. Each speaker should begin by thanking the audience, sometimes called the peanut gallery, and the judges, also called the adjudicator. Each speaker must ask for the judge's vote for their side at the end of their speech. Cast your vote for the government or opposition. Will do nicely. Finally, address your arguments to the judges and the audience. Those are the basics of setting up and arguing a simple case for the class debate. You now know the process for setting up the case and the basics. We will cover more details in class. That brings us to the end of this session. I'm Dr. Rick Merritt. See you in class.